My name is Kevin, and today we're talking about physics, gravity, and motion. Really common, right? So let's start our presentation on this. Our first question: what is gravity? Well, I've already made a video about this, and if you want to dive deeper, then search for it in our channel Soul to Grow. Now, next to our question. Our planet has an ionic core underside the outer core, which is usually lava. And because it's ionic, it has a really strong magnetic field. And that's why we're all sitting here today. Or if there's no gravity, we'd be all floating around. Just like birds. No, I mean we will float out of space. And how about motion? This is a type of kinetic energy. Motion has lots of categories, and all of them are important, which is speed, mass, velocity, time, momentum, and acceleration. First one, speed. Speed is how quick something moves. The speedometer on a car measures how much time the car takes to go to a location. That's how speed works. And speed equals distance divided by time. Okay, for example, a car is going a distance of 30 kilometers. And it takes an hour to do that. So then we'll take 30 divided by 1, so we could get the result as 30 kilometers per hour. Just like that. In time, this is also an important category. It tells how long something takes to do something. It is also important because it's included to find speed. How about mass? So, if you think mass is weight, you're wrong. Mass is the weight and volume of something, but it isn't weight and it isn't volume. It's a combination, just like that. And it is not a synonym of weight, just like I did. Weight can change due to the gravity of each planet. So, now, for example, you're a child or kid and you're 25 kilograms. But now on the moon, you're only 10.
Ah.
So that's weight. But the mass still remains the same when you're on Earth and on the moon, just like volume. And let's talk about momentum. Well, this may sound like a hard category. Well, it is, but when I explain it, you'll find it much more easier. This is the measurement of how hard or difficult it is to stop the motion of an object. Okay, so now it's impossible to stop a car that is moving slower than the truck. I mean, when you use the car to stop the truck, because the truck has higher momentum, because it has higher speed and bigger mass. So mass and speed are the important things of momentum. More speed, more mass equals more momentum. Less speed, less mass, and it's vice versa. Then we'll talk about velocity. Well, kind of like, this sounds familiar. Well, it is. Familiar, it's the speed of an object and the direction it's moving. The speedometer, just like I said, measures speed, and a compass shows direction. And finally, let's talk about the last category of motion, which is acceleration. This is the way how something speeds up or slows down in a certain direction. So For example, now you look at the speedometer of a car, and now you push the speed up. So you see now it turns over here to a bigger number. And that is how acceleration works. And there is also one extra one that I want to tell you. And that's inertia. It's not actually a part of motion, but it's an extra one. This is a law of one of the laws of motion that Newton says. So this indicates that an object in motion tends to stay in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. Okay, so for example, now you're playing a game of billiards. Okay, so the billiards are heavy, so it stays at rest after you kick the ball, unless you put it into a basket in the billiards table. So you see, on the billiards table, it stays still unless you push it or you hit it like that, right? And once you hit it, it takes a long time to slow it down because of its high momentum. And that's why the billiards ball gets its weight. So what is stopping the ball then? Well, a billiard ball can roll a really long distance without stopping, but finally it still has to stop. And why? One of the reasons is friction. So when you try to rub your hands like this, do you feel the warmth? That is what we call friction. And that is why when you pull something on the ice, it's much more easier to pull something on a really, really hard, rusty and rough kind of like place. And you'll be easier to trip over on slippier and smoother places. And that is the place with lesser friction. So now if you kind of like kick a ball out of space, if you had superpowers or something, and when it flies out, if planets don't have gravity after that, then there won't have any forces stopping it. So the ball will fly and fly and fly and fly and fly forever until it reaches a planet. So those are the laws of motion and inertia. And do you think this is interesting? If you like it, please subscribe and like, and visit our channel So to Grow so you won't miss our latest videos. See you!